The Halloween card adventure once upon a chilly, moonlit Halloween night. In a cozy little town near the edge of a dark and mysterious forest, 5 young friends were preparing for an adventure like no other. Every year on Halloween, the 5 friends had a special tradition that made them the talk of the town. They didn't just dress up in costumes like other kids. No, they became living Halloween cards. Each year, they created magical, spooky cards that came to life as they walked through the town, spreading Halloween cheer, sharing spooky tales, and giving everyone delightful shivers. That evening, the town streets were already bustling with children in costumes, pumpkins glowing on doorsteps, and spooky decorations hanging from trees. The 5 friends gathered under the biggest oak tree at the center of the town square, their hands full of the special Halloween cards they had made. "Is everyone ready for our Halloween adventure?" asked Sophie, the leader of the group, her eyes sparkling with excitement. She was dressed as a haunted house card, with spooky windows and ghostly figures peeking out from every corner. "Ready," they all shouted eagerly. Together, they began their Halloween chant, the one they repeated every year as they set off on their journey. Were the lively Halloween cards, bringing thrills and chills tonight. "We'll share with you our spooky tales. That'll give you quite a fright." The air seemed to shimmer as they began their walk, their magical Halloween cards glowing softly in the dark. As they wandered down the cobblestone streets, the townspeople smiled and gathered around, eager to hear the spooky stories that the 5 friends would share. Sophie stepped forward first, holding her haunted house card high. The house on the card seemed to glow with eerie light as she began her story. In the darkest corners of the night, there are eerie ghosts and goblins that dwell in the shadows. Even when you can't see them, they weave their wicked spells. She waved the card in the air, and for a moment, it looked as though the ghosts and goblins were dancing right off the card, swirling around the children with ghostly whispers. The second child, Leo, dressed as a card with impish creatures hiding among the pumpkins, giggled as he stepped forward. "Beware the merry imps of Halloween, who dart through the darkness so bright. Watch your step, or you might trip, for they love to play tricks out of sight." Leo waved his card, and the pumpkins on it seemed to glow. The children giggled as they imagined the mischievous imps hiding in the shadows, waiting to play their tricks. Next, it was Mila's turn. She held up her card, which showed witches flying on broomsticks and prowling black cats beneath a starry night sky. Her eyes gleamed as she spoke. Witches sweep across the sky, their broomsticks stirring the wind. Black cats screech and stare, their eyes glowing in the dark. Beware of the ghosts and goblins, they join in the fun, so walk with care tonight. Mila made spooky cat sounds, and for a moment, it seemed as though the witches were flying right above the crowd, while ghostly cats prowled nearby. After Mila's tale, the 4th friend, Sam, took a deep breath and held up his card. His card was decorated with eerie shapes and dark shadows that seemed to stretch out from the corners. "When doors creak and windows moan, and shadows stretch and lean, be careful with your every move, for that's when it's Halloween." Sam moved his card in the air, making the shadows on it dance under the glow of the streetlights. The crowd held their breath, feeling the spooky magic in the air. Finally, it was Lily's turn. She stepped forward with a card that was decorated with friendly goblins holding lucky 4-leaf clovers. Her story was full of warmth and hope. "May the goblins who visit you on this Halloween night bring you all the best of luck, more than you've ever seen." Lily waved her card, and for a moment, the crowd felt a warmth in the air, as if the goblins on her card were bringing good fortune to everyone in the town. After sharing their spooky stories, the 5 friends stood together and raised their magical cards high, their voices chiming together as they finished their Halloween chant. "Now we, the Halloween cards, bid our friends adieu, but worry not, for we promise this. Next year, we'll be back anew." With that, they laughed and waved goodbye to the townspeople, who clapped and cheered in delight. As the 5 friends ventured off into the night, their magical Halloween cards glowing softly in the moonlight, their laughter echoed through the streets. The town was left wrapped in the enchanting spirit of Halloween, filled with the magic of stories, laughter, and the promise of more to come. As they disappeared into the distance, the townspeople smiled, knowing that they would see their favorite Halloween tradition again next year. And for that night, the entire town was filled with the joy and wonder that only Halloween could bring, thanks to the 5 friends and their magical Halloween cards.